Okay, is this thing on? I think we're going. We got a few minutes, but we got to make sure we're all here too. Hey, what's going on, Eric? How we doing, buddy?
Go. I've been better, but doing okay. Let me actually kick my dogs out of here.
Yeah, go ahead and do what you got to do. Ayame, you coming in loud and clear?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Cool. You gonna throw up a picture or something?
I am, yes.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Dude,
It's
Eric.
remember the 21st of September today. Wrong song.
Dude, that mustache, man, that's pretty wicked, buddy.
Right? 95% of it was for giggles and the other 5% was for Danny. So
Yeah.
it is just kind of stuff.
Dude, that's wicked. That is a great one. Are you going to keep letting it go? Or are you going to try to nurse it out a bit?
I think so. I had really bad, it was bushy, and then my buddy was like, you need to trim that up. You need to like make them pointy or like, it looked really bad before.
Yeah. You might want to, I don't know what's going on with your auto mute, Eric. You might
No,
want
I have it as a push to talk because I don't want to wear headphones because it's coming through my speakers. I mean, I guess I could just turn my speakers down. Or
Gotcha.
let me find a little earpiece. I don't know the best way to do this.
Dude, I do it with no earpiece, no nothing, just using like computer audio.
Can you hear you when you're talking?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't
No.
hear you when I'm talking. No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
good. Yeah, I just usually leave it off because push to talk is nice, but it can kind of cut you off at weird times too.
Right, I would agree.
There you go, Ayame. That's a great picture to use.
That is a gnarly mustache, Eric.
Shirt to it, but you know.
Yeah. Making Jake self-conscious now about his mustache. You've got the beard though.
This one side is curling really bad on me like the last week, so it's kind of been driving me nuts. But it happens. You'll live with it. You'll learn to love it.
It's solid. It's solid.
So Clint should be joining us from the guard shack here, but we can go ahead and get the intro out of the way. Ayame, do you want to do it or do you want me to?
Go for it. I didn't get to hear your one from last week.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us. Tonight is Karmic Transmission number 11. Special guest, Eric Judson, right here. He's been a karma agent for a long time, done a lot of good work with us. Pretty great, swell guy all the way around. We got Ayame with us, and Clint's going to be joining us here in a few minutes. You guys can find us online at karmaincarnate.com, the @Karmic Transmission, right, Ayame?
It's at Karmic Feed, actually, on Twitter.
And Twitter, and then Facebook is just Karma Incarnate on Facebook. You can also find Ayame Goddess, X Goddess at what's your Twitter handle? Sorry.
That is my Twitter handle.
Okay.
Oh, you really are struggling with this a little bit.
I need to get this one jotted down so that I can just get it worked in there a little bit.
Okay.
11 times isn't enough.
So you can reach us at Karmic Feed on Twitter. You can reach me at Ayame X Goddess on Twitter. You can also find us on Gaming Good Karma on YouTube, or you can find the podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud soon. So
there we go. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Eric, do you have a Twitter?
No, I'm old.
Oh.
I mean, I do, but it's not a thing right now. So
okay.
I need to get back on it. But
how you find Eric is you go outside and you just go, Eric! And eventually
you just need a hug, and I show up.
He's kind of like Lassie in that regard. Like if you just go outside in the field and just go, Eric, and he'll just come bounding across.
Someone needs help moving? Oh, okay, let's go.
Speaking our language, obviously moving is just a thing, right?
Man, I'm so excited to be on the show tonight, though. Really,
dude, I'm excited to have you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I think this is a really cool thing that you've been doing. So.
Well, thanks, man. This is for people like you, is the real thing. It's to give all of our people a chance to stretch out their voice and talk a little bit and share just how incredible they are, you know?
Right. I was on this hiccup earlier about people live longer with friends and family and stuff, and there's something about not being alone or doing something alone that is really, I don't know, it like really weighs into this world. And when you're not alone with something with like this, where it's excluding nobody, everybody's invited, you know, and it's just, I think that's where community starts. Straight from that, man, is just not wanting to be alone and not knowing that you're not alone or whatnot. And it's just,
Absolutely.
it's weird.
Yeah, I think
It's
you've
weird.
got a good point there.
Right. And it sucks that we can't do this alone, because we would love to do it alone, because who wants to wear the burden of karma on their heart and shoulders all the time or whatnot, just trying to do a little good here or there and stuff. But it's, I don't know. It's nice to know that you've got friends that, you know, are there with you. It's, what was the thing that I said a long time ago? Many hands make easy lifting, or something like that.
Something like that.
Something
Boy,
like that.
You're coming out of the gate swinging hard, swinging for the fences. It's
You're so funny, dude. I've got
7:04 and you're already like into it. I like it.
Dude, I've been ready for this for too long. But you know what's sad? I pulled my card today because I do like, you know, what's my day gonna look like? And my card was like negativity, depression, and sadness. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to bring those things to light. You know, maybe the situation that we've been in for so long, we've just been kind of just trying to drink the problem away, I guess is the best way to put it, where we're not trying to think about it. We're just trying to go through the motions and stuff. And I don't know. I really feel like maybe the negativity is something we have to kind of embrace right now. Maybe it's so prevalent that it will force a change that needs to happen, if that makes sense. Because I don't know when it will be okay until we make it okay. Go ahead.
Well, dude, I think you're onto something there, because when there is so much negativity and so much just like doubt and unknown going on, the only thing that you can do is embrace the unknown and say, you know what, I'm ready to do something with it no matter what. It's that idea of taking your own fate in your own hands and saying, you know what, we're going to do something no matter what, because that's the way that you can bring order out of chaos. That's what it takes, is you have to do it yourself. But the first thing that you have to admit to is agree that there's chaos. There's things going on. And that, like you said, that's that embracing the negativity, embracing, call it existence, if you will, and saying, you know what, in the end, I'm going to do something anyway.
I like people in karma for that reason, because I feel like agents have already embraced this chaos, and they've already admitted that there is, you know, something wrong or something else. And so you're not alone already in that. You've already got a friend in that situation. So you're more willing to take on this huge challenge of whatever it is.
And that comes down to those communities, like what you were talking about in the beginning. It starts from building a community and knowing that you've got a friend that's going to have your back no matter what. Because in the end, when we started as cavemen, that's what it was down to. It was, well, I can go to sleep because I got Eric that'll sit up for a couple hours through the night and make sure that we're not all going to get
right. It's almost like what I want is what you want.
Exactly. It's that wanting to help each other build something more, because, you know, as animals. Sorry, I had to stop there for a second. You know, Rex, dude, Clint, that is wicked, man.
How are you guys?
Oh,
dude, you and
my God,
brothers tonight, man.
I know it. It's sweet, Eric.
So I guess
that's what you got.
This is episode 11, the Mustache Wars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, that is just wicked. That is great.
Jeez, I'm kind of glad I'm not on video right now, because I would feel pretty weird, with you guys.
I'm kind of nervous that I don't have something like carved or shaped into my beard right now compared to you guys. I mean,
you know what you need to do, and Rex has taught this, is the kernel, where it's almost like what Clint's got, but you keep the beard going up.
Yeah, go down.
Let me throw this out there. You do not need to do that. You should not do that. Please don't ever do it again.
Have done it.
You've done it?
I know you've done it. I've seen it. That's the problem.
I've done it. I have pictures of it. The Colonel, so that one's called the General. The Colonel is the mustache with the point coming off the end.
Oh, okay.
I thought they called that the Lucifer.
So,
No, the
So-
Lucifer's like Ming from Flash Gordon, isn't it? Isn't that kind of a Lucifer vibe?
I don't know. I think you're
Is
thinking
that like
of
a
the
Fu
Spock.
Manchu?
I was thinking.
No,
like
the
a small
Lucifer.
mustache with a
The
little.
Lucifer is like it's like a pencil mustache, but it like goes way out farther than it should, and then you've got like a little
Yeah, like-
soul patch that curls up off
Right.
your chin.
Right here.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, kind of like the
This is
train
like-
tracks guy.
Although she
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
want that one in the house again.
Guy
This is like
tying
the
into
3
the
steps
track.
of beard ownership here. You start with the mustache, then you get into what Clint's got, which I think is called it's the general, right?
No, handlebars.
Not really. It's
Oh, you got it all the way down
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah,
so
he's
it's-
got a nice little separation in there.
You know what? I feel bad for everybody who's listening to this instead of watching it on YouTube, because this is really,
Right.
you have
It
to
just
see
means
this.
they're going to have to go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know where we were talking about for the mustaches. They're so distracting.
Dude,
They're
it's
so
a
great.
That's the
how long have you been
facial hair.
sporting?
Think about it. Beard contests and competitions, mustache competitions. These are all communities
Right.
that people organize and try to feel a part of, because
Right.
it all comes right back exactly like you were saying, Eric. It's we want to feel that sense of togetherness, because
Right.
in the end, human beings are social animals, you know. And that's what I was coming to is, you know, when you get back to nature, when we're animals, we're not exactly the toughest, strongest, most lethal animals. I mean, our claws aren't exactly very sharp, you know. Yeah, we can
We're slow.
things.
Come on.
slow.
We don't hear well. We don't see well.
Death, you know. So as animals individually, we're not that special. But you put two human beings together, and they'll conquer the entire animal kingdom if they want to, because that's the ability that we have by helping each other out and building communities to take on these problems. And what's so cool about karma, the one thing that really comes back to the karma community, is everything that we do comes around to one of those ultimate like end goals of all people, which is we all get hungry. We all need food. And that chaos is what we karma agents look at and go, I got you. I know how I'm going to tackle you, and we're going to do it this way. And I'm prouder than hell to be a part of it.
I
You
think
know?
it's interesting how you have to see that play out for you really to feel it. I was thinking about this the other day. I was driving to work and the sun was great. It looked awesome, but it was so damn bright. I couldn't look straight at it for more than half a second or whatnot. And I thought karma was almost the same thing, how it's such a bright thing that you really can't look directly upon it, but you have to look upon the cast of light of what it's bringing to life, if that makes sense. You can't look at the exact
thing
source.
is illuminating.
Right.
Yeah. You can't stare at the sun, but because the sun shines, you can see the world around
Exactly.
you. And
Exactly.
that's what karma gives you the ability to do.
Right. Because this whole thing, besides hunger, is such a little one ray of a big sun, if you ask me. And
Yeah.
and I'm so glad we're starting here, because I really think it needs to start somewhere. And
Bingo.
what a cool place to start, and what a great group of guys to start with. And you know, I've never had a bad experience with karma, and I think that's one of my favorite things, even though it's crazy. I mean, it's funny how we just want to do it. We just want to do it, you know? And it sucks that you don't really know a way to do it besides just doing it. And it's so hard to find that. I really think a lot of people feel this way and really want to do something or be a part of a community or do something, you know, bigger than themselves, honestly. And I just wish we had a bigger voice, I guess. Because what thing that I've been noticing, it takes as long to listen as it does to do.
Absolutely.
Right. Right. It's almost like the act of recording is more important than the act of itself.
Well, and it flips too, because it's not just the act of listening, it's the act of talking. If all you want to do is sit around and talk about it, if you took that time and did something with it, you're gonna actually see results.
Right.
You know? And like you said, the one thing that karma needs is more voice. It needs more people talking about it so that it can grow too, because that's the trick. And
Right.
the thing that's really hard, especially right now, is that we really do, aside from things like this, we can't really get together as a group and use that voice. You know what I mean? But through using new and ingenious ways like Zoom or through Facebook Messenger.
Right, like it can't stop us.
Exactly. They can't stop us. No matter what. If we want to get together, we can. And this is the thing that's interesting about what people want to tackle and how they want to go after it is where there's a will, there's a way. It's gonna happen. Hey, Ayame, Jurassic Park, what's the line?
What?
Ian,
You mean life finds a way?
there we go. I was hoping that you'd assist me on that one here.
Well, I mean, that was a little bit of a stretch, but I think, yeah, we got there.
But that's, in the end, food is life, right?
Right.
If we don't eat, we all die. So let's find a way to feed each other and life will keep going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny that we've created all these hiccups that we have to liberate, I guess is the best word, because they're just mush. It doesn't even exist why we don't have this already connected. Like the dots are already there and the line just needs to be there, if that makes sense. But there's all this crap in the way that we just have to
Sometimes the easiest and most obvious things are also the most difficult things to see and to grasp. I mean, karma is a great example of this. I mean, you talk about, how long it takes for people to get involved once they first get exposure to it. We heard it from Kevin Steele last week a little bit, or last time I should say, or where sometimes like you have the answer in front of you, you have the path ahead of you, and you're so focused on what's off to the side and what's behind you, and it can be hard to see those things. And it works out great for us, really, because since we already know where we're going, since we've already seen the path, we can walk it, we can help lead other people there.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think karma holds 3 specific energies with it. It's got past, present, and future. I think we've taken the past and we know what we're working with, but we also know what we want to strive for. So I think we're in the present so much, but I think we're also looking in the future so much. It's hard to balance the wants and where we need to go in all these directions. But I think with enough minds together, it will get pointed in the right way. There'll be enough input, enough criticism, enough feedback. And I think the world knows what the world wants.
I would like to hope so.
I think so, and for as much as they think that they want chaos, they really don't when you listen to them. That's the interesting part behind it. But it's the one thing that it really, in unifying a past, present, and future mentality, the thing that helps all things is a rallying cry, right? Yeah. And the thing that all organizations tend to provide is that unique avenue for people to rally behind it and move it forward. And the thing that's so incredible about karma is that the rallying cry is so specific with what it does. We're here to end hunger. But through that, every voice can be as unique and as varied as every participant here, not to mention the people that are listening from home. You know what I mean? Because in the end, if I'm driving for one cause and Eric's driving for another and Clint's driving for yet a different one, but all causes unite behind we're here to end hunger, man, we move those chains. We make that whole thing go because it gives us that unique ability to bring in our own personal passion to go along with it. And that's the part that can be so hard sometimes to unify behind another voice.
I agree, because you're on the same page, but some people you're on the same chapter, but some people might be on a different page.
Exactly. And so it doesn't matter. We'll all get to the chapter at the same time, but let's all keep that thing, and in the end, it's funny because you see it with a lot of really big, just regular companies, they all need to have a vision and a purpose and something to unite all of their people behind, because if they don't, their people start to lose interest and they start looking for other jobs. Everything slows down, productivity slows down. So it really is essential to have that thing that people can look at and go, I'm a part of that. But it's really unique when they go, I'm a part of that because I do it this way because it's how I love doing it. It gives them that extra oomph, because more than anything, the biggest thing that I look at with karma and with wanting to change the world is it takes courage. That's the thing that a community is hoping for more than anything else is that if I'm willing to say something, I know that I've got people at my back ready to say, no, he's right. You know what I mean? And when that
network
is present, it makes it harder for you to want to stand out there and be like, no, I know what it is. So,
Right.
and that's the biggest part about communities is it's that I got backup. So I'm more ready to actually say my mind and be honest with what I think about these things, because I know there's other people like me out there. And in a time of forced separation, it's easy to lose that courage, to think that those people aren't there with you. But here we are, right here, all of us together, showing that we got each other's back, and that's how we're going to make that change work. We just got to get more people doing this with us.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
So,
I was reading something about Keanu Reeves the other day because I've been like into cyberpunk recently, and I'm like, oh, I just went and saw Bill and Ted's and all that jazz.
Just recently? Oh, you're such a poser.
Oh no, I went and saw Bill and Ted's like the day it came out. You kidding me? It was such a great movie. But all these things have been popping up on my stupid Facebook because I swear my phone listens to what I do or where I'm at.
To every single thing that you do.
Right, exactly. And he's all just talking about his life events, about like, he did The Matrix, and instead of like taking a bunch of money, he funded the people who did all the CGI and all like the back burners. And he's just one of those people that kind of does just a little step to the left, where it's not like a huge drastic step, but it's almost like just a little step. And so it got me thinking, does it take a lot to be a good person or a courageous person or a person willing to better somebody else, and as well as benefiting yourself? Because I feel like if people can just look past themselves for just a little bit, the action totally comes back. It comes back every time. Like if you tell someone to F off, you're never going to see that person coming. That action came back by you now never seeing that person again. Or other, if you help someone, feed someone, they're going to come around again. It's this weird unspoken action that you receive. And I don't know what it's been hiking me up on that for a little bit, but I don't think it takes a lot. Does it take much to be a good person?
I don't personally think it takes a lot to be a good person. I think what takes a lot is to be a leader, especially if you're being a leader as a good person. But I also think that what it really comes down to is sustainability. Like it takes, I think, a lot of effort to maintain being a good person.
I think so too.
Being in karma is actually, it's another good thing about it, really, in that it doesn't take a lot of effort to be a good person with karma, because a lot of the work is kind of done for you in that regard. Because as long as you're committed to being a good person, the good act will happen. And so there's not a ton extra that you have to put into it, which I think is a good stepping off point for, making yourself a better person. Like karma is a good way to start out being good, doing something that is challenging but isn't the most challenging, and through that you can learn to be a better person, learn to be a leader, certainly of your downline, but your own community, whatever you choose, whatever way that you choose to spread karma, you can become a leader doing that. And that's where the difficulty comes in.
No, I really think karma really makes you exercise your heart. It really does. It makes it put it on your sleeves, and you really have to wear it. And digressing into another thing, I was thinking about how does your heart work? What does it do? What's its whole function? It provides blood to your whole body, and it just pumps oxygen, and it doesn't even think about all these organs that are protecting itself by it giving to all these organs, right? So what if karma is a heart of like economics, where the things that you get back from karma, what is it called? Your
karmic return.
Thank you. What if that is like the blood flow to your heart giving and funding all these extra resources to make everything grow and work the way it should. Because right now I feel like we are so tied. I feel like most of our cards are played for us. There's not very many people who can have a path of 100,000 choices and choose one. We're mostly down to like 10 or 15 because we're forced that way. That's just the day and age that we live in. Unless we're born into a rich family or win the lottery, you don't have that opportunity, really. It's hard to find those. But I really honestly think karma is one of those opportunities that can do that and sustain what you really want to do. And I really think once people can feel like they can make a difference with their own view as a collective, I think a lot of people will start to see the true potential of what karma can do. I mean, there might be somebody who weighs us out and does like a bunch of bad thing or whatnot, but you know, that's life, I think.
Oh yeah, no, and you're absolutely right, Eric, because it's, you know, Rex has talked about it, that we're an economic engine, we're a wealth generator, we're all of those things, because in the end, it's, you're right. It's the heart doesn't worry about the other organs. All it does is it does an action. It pumps blood. And through it pumping blood, the body is sustained. And in the end, that blood has to come all the way back to the heart.
Right.
Just like karma. If I put something in, it eventually has to come all the way back around.
Right.
And the most important thing is the action. If the heart doesn't pump, the blood doesn't move, so nothing can come back around for the heart to pump again. Right? So
Right.
The action, it takes that motion of the heart beating in order for something to happen. And the incredible heart with that, or the incredible thing about that beating heart of karma, is every agent is a heartbeat. Boom, boom. Every agent coming in causes that economic engine to move, because that's all that it really is. It's a system for people to play actively in an economic structure to earn an income back. Because
We
that's
just have a
really,
lot of stagnant blood right now.
I don't know that we have stagnant blood. It's just we need to get more people hearing
Totally.
our heartbeat.
Totally.
That's the catch, is we need more people listening. And
Totally.
that's
That's what I meant. Like, there's already so much bad blood, I should say, that's in there that it just needs to pump with new blood, is what I was just trying to say.
yeah. You know what? A few new people coming in to make that heartbeat happen a few more times, because that's it. It's more like, instead of us going ba-bum, ba-bum, right now we're going like bum, bum, bum. We need to pick it up a little bit, you know, and adding a few more people, a few more viewpoints, a few more voices to that understanding of, hey, this idea is here, participate in it, let's get involved. That's what we need, is more voices sharing that idea.
Do you guys think 2020 has shooken people up enough to make them feel a little bit more insecure, I guess? I mean, I changed jobs. I changed completely fields of my because I wanted to
Change fingernail colors too.
Yeah, right.
If 2020 has done one
Look at
thing,
that Harley Quinn's hat there behind you.
Nicole painted that
God.
forever
Oh,
ago.
that's good.
And I painted this one.
We've got a
that's
couple
so
animals
nice.
painted for us in our living room.
Nice.
Anyways, continue.
Hey, Ama, you were saying
No,
about,
I was just gonna say, like, if 2020's done anything at all, I think it's shaken people up. Like, that's the one thing you could reliably say about 2020, is that people are shaken, for sure. Now is actually a really good time, I think we talked about it on one of the earlier podcasts. Maybe it might have been something we were talking about on the side, but it's just like, now is a great time to get involved and to introduce people to the concept, because a lot of people lost their jobs. Karma never stopped.
Right.
Karma goes on regardless of whether or not there's, social distancing, whether or not there's, people are stuck inside, because people need to keep eating. So karma keeps doing what it does. And obviously, we're safe about it, but at the same time, it's like, we don't need a massive organization. We don't need, we just need people who want to help, and it gets done.
Because right now there is a massive organization, and guess what? They dropped the ball all year, I think. Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
Constantly. That's not a 2020 thing. That's just a thing, period.
Oh yeah, I know, but I think it's highlighted this year.
Oh yeah. Well, this year definitely showcases that for sure.
It would seem that massive organization and dropping the ball are often synonymous.
You know what? Very well said.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
I wonder if it's because one person just gets too much leverage. That's one thing I like about karma is like I feel like all our heads are at the same level.
Bingo.
Well, it's where it's. I think the problem comes into where their hearts are.
Yeah.
Right in an organization. It's like wealth. I got, people want to make wealth out to be bad or whatever, but it's just it's a machine, it's a tool. It's what you do with the wealth.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. But we were talking about that, and I was thinking about that. It's like, well, having a lot of money isn't bad. What are you doing with it? What kind of a person are you?
Right.
Yeah.
That's just it. It's
How did
not.
you get
It's
it?
not wealth that's bad. It's greed that's bad. It's
Right.
We said something
the
like a
need
few weeks ago about
to
holding the
have
world
more.
back.
In this day and age of memes and catchphrases and hashtags and shit, it seems like that things like that get labeled as this or that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's an umbrella term. It's easy to put all that stuff under the same umbrella because I think for a lot of people feel that they're very often synonymous. But it's true. I mean, Jake said this, I think it was 2 weeks ago or so. They're like specifics matter. It's very important to be specific about those kind of criticisms because you're right. Wealth is not bad, but being greedy is bad. Like needing to have more wealth than everyone else at the cost of literally everything else is certainly a bad thing. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, what it comes down to ultimately is what are you doing with your wealth? What did you do to get your wealth? Are you out there trying to make the world a better place, or is
Are you
wealth
holding the world back?
Yeah, it's like are you so willing to continue gaining that everyone and everything else can just burn down because you got yours? I mean,
Right.
that's what it comes down to, I think.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Specifics matter, and
Common
that's a great
sense,
one, 'cause-
really. I mean, it all comes down back to the golden rule in a sense.
He who makes the gold
Make sure
makes
you
the rule.
Make sure you got.
Isn't
What's
yeah,
that?
I think
No.
that is it, isn't it? No, what's the original one? Like what one were you saying, Clint? Yeah, sorry.
Huh? I was just reading Colby's comment.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
Gotcha.
bring that
Oh, I
up.
didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Well, I think what Clinton was going to say is the original golden rule is do unto others, right? Treat others
Right. That's
how to be
right.
treated.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that we were bringing up, and I was going to bring back in with Colby here, is that sometimes clarification and specification actually matters. Because Colby
Yeah.
brings up a good point where he asked, he's like, what do you mean by massive? Like how many people or the type of impact that they're making? And that's a real big statement too, because just because an organization has a lot of people and it's large scale doesn't necessarily mean that it's doing bad things, because a lot of it comes down to really, and this is the hard part, is it comes back to kind of what Clint said, is what's at the heart of it all, right? Because you can have a really big corporation that's got a lot of moving parts and different people involved, and it can do a lot of good things. I mean, case in point, are you guys familiar with Even Stevens sandwiches?
Yes.
You seen them?
Yeah.
So big nation spanning chain of restaurants. They do, and they make a pretty okay sandwich in my book, but their whole thing is for every sandwich you buy, they donate equal parts to be given to food banks and food shelters and stuff like that to feed people, right? So big things, massive organizations can still do good because it really comes down
Oh,
to
yeah.
the heartbeat, right? What are they working for? And that's where, just like Ayama was saying, those specifics can really matter in a lot of ways. That's
And the
it's
structure of the hierarchy of it,
yeah.
Well, that's part of it. I mean, it comes down to, like you said, it's the heartbeat of it. It's like, are you more invested in, becoming mega successful? Are you invested more in the monetary aspect, or are you more interested in, your product or the general welfare, or, one of 10,000 other things that you could be invested in? Because you can be a massive company and you can do great things. I think we've talked about this on the podcast before. Doing good specifically for the sake of the benefit that you get out of doing good, tax breaks, or your karmic return or whatever, versus doing something good to be altruistic. So is that your intention? Is your intention to make a good product? Is your intention to be altruistic? Or is your intention to make as much as you can by any means necessary at the expense of literally everyone and everything else? And, a company like even Stevens, we've talked about them a little bit before, not here, but just in person. And I mean, they do seem, based on what I know, to do have their heart in the right place. And it is good to see a big company that can do that, because it's very refreshing. Because big companies, they have a lot of power. They have a lot of power to do good and bad things. And it's nice to see a big company doing something that's that positive.
I guess the whole thing I'm just trying to capture with this is like, it's not about how big the thing has impacted yet. It's about the movement it's making, I guess. Here's a weird thing. Like, how much has karma impacted our local things? Does anybody know that? How much have we, because what have we been in since September 11th?
2008?
Yeah.
No, it was
2012.
2012.
That was it. It's been for 8 years. That's what it is.
Yeah. Our last video said our impact was over $33,000.
Dang.
Yeah, and that was our 3-month video back in May.
Yeah, so it's more than that.
$35,000 that we've given.
Still.
So, but that's just it right there. It's about the continued impact.
Right.
It's about constantly putting your money where your heart is and saying, no, these things are worth fighting for, and these things are worth doing. And that's, coming back around to the greed side and how people and why they want to get involved. It's funny because I was talking with a friend of mine the other day about selfless acts and selfish acts and a lot of stuff that way. And, selfishness and greed kind of run hand in hand, right? But one of the incredible things about karma in anything, for what it is, it's an investment opportunity. It's a chance for you to take your money and put it into something and take a shot to see if it can do something more. And because of that, it doesn't matter if you're greedy. If you want to invest just because you want to make money, wonderful. You're going to feed thousands, if not millions of people with your investment. So get greedy. Get hungry, man. I'm telling you, try to make money in this business because you're going to feed a lot of people. And
it's like a stock that you make.
Yeah. And on that flip side, if all you want to do is help, if you just want to be altruistic, then guess what? We're going to give you the means to fund as many organizations and things as you want to.
Right.
Because you're going to start by feeding people.
Because you're pumping that heart.
Bingo. Yeah. Because in the end, I'm going to do something good with my money, which is invest. And that's universal all the way around.
I agree.
So
Here. Ayame,
Yes.
can you get your camera fixed?
It's not that it's broken, it's just buried somewhere. And if you want to come over and paint some of the rooms in my house, I'll be more than happy to dig it out.
How is that a deal?
Yeah, I was gonna say paint.
How is me painting your house?
Because the entirety of my house right now is being reconstructed and painted. So all of my stuff from my office, are in boxes, and all of those boxes are buried in the bar area underneath other boxes. So until I can get my new office painted,
I see.
I have no idea where it is.
You have
Okay.
a cool new office, though.
We just miss seeing your face.
Oh, well, you
Not
know.
that the Twi'lek isn't good.
This is, by the way, this is from the Karma shirts from 2019.
Yeah. That was a good one too.
The
We need to get
Twi'lek?
posters ordered.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was from the Disneyland shirts in 2019.
I'm
I don't
ready for
think-
Disney to be
I
open.
don't think I've seen that one.
Well, Jake's wearing, I think he's wearing
Yeah,
the
see,
Universal one,
This
right?
is the Universal one with us as the Ghostbusters,
Yeah, I saw that.
right? So I've got that other one out there because,
cool.
yeah, it's definitely, dude, those were some great shirts. Are you working on the one for this year? Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Good.
Sure am. Right
Better
now,
be.
as a matter of fact. Can you
No,
hear this?
Rex is probably listening to this. So
Can you hear this?
is that you drawing?
That's me drawing right now.
I figured as much. You'll have them done by the time we're through with this show, right?
Yep. That's drawing ASMR for all those people who are just listening. It's just like, now you can go to sleep.
Hey, Colby had another question here.
Oh, here we go.
Man, we should just invite him over.
Colby says he wants to know, have you talked about the different family food gift options available? Some people get scared with the whole idea of having a business, but they are more than willing to give money to the cause. Question mark.
Question mark.
I'm not sure why.
Well,
Because I think that second part is actually a statement, Colby.
I'm not quite sure. We'll suss through it though. What he's referring to is we
Calling the
kind of
man
mentioned it.
on
And
his grammar.
what's that, Clint?
I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Who, me?
Yeah, you
you.
broke up
I
there.
don't know what you just said or what was going
Oh,
on.
I was laughing because Ayame was calling out Colby on his grammar.
And I will continue to do that for everybody
Every
in
group
this
of friends
organization.
has like the school teacher, you know?
Yeah, and that's me.
Hey, can I go back?
110%.
May I?
Yes,
You
you
ever get
can.
that one?
I don't know. I'm not sure I like your attitude, young man.
Okay, Jake. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, so what I was going to come into this one, and we haven't talked about it much because they're not quite finished. I actually have an email with the back office people right now to do some testing on the new product features. But yeah, so one of the things that we had talked about initially was how people get involved in karma. And beforehand, we had always wanted it to be about making a continued impact. And so what we're going to be adding in is we're going to add in some new family food gift purchasable items with a shopping cart feature so that you can actually start working as more of a sales rep and sell $10, $25, or $50 family food gifts to people. So if they don't want to sign up and get a business, get like
That's cool.
a Karma account and all that kind of stuff, they can actually start buying a continuing family food gift at a lower price or something like that. So we haven't really done much with it, but that's because they're about 3 weeks from being done is my best guess, because once this is done, we have a few more features and then we can test on it. But we got a whole bunch of things planned going on with the overall back office websites. We're kind of doing a whole big overhaul, and we're going to talk about that more going forward. So
that one's secret.
well, hey, that's all that I'm going to say is that we're doing a lot. Karma is incredibly busy right now. A lot of people might be shut down and not doing much, but we're here trying to kick this thing into overdrive because, like we were talking, if not now, then when should we actually finally take this on ourselves and say, enough is enough? We're going to feed the world. We're going to take care of each other, and to hell with what everybody else thinks. We can make it happen, So let's do it. Let's dig in our heels and make sure that this thing goes. So, but that's what we're doing on the Karma side. Is lots of changes, lots of new things that are coming, but it's all going to make it even better, even easier to talk about it and want to promote it to people, because hell, you got $10, cool, buy some family food gifts. Let's start feeding people. Let's not worry about the whys and the what ifs. Let's just do it and see what happens. How about that for a change?
I was listening to the radio the other day, and
Well said.
some pharmacist, she has a friend who has her pharmacy, but it's spelled with an F because she grows a farm.
Uh-huh.
And what this pharmacist did is she went around and just gathered local vegetables because everybody would bring her produce and stuff, and they would just give it away at the pharmacy because she didn't know what to do with it. And then one day she's like, man, I really just want to take this to the food bank, but I don't know if they're going to use it, if they've got loopholes or whatnot. And then she was just like, I'm just going to do it. And then I'll suffer whatever happens after. I'm just going to do the act, and it's just going to unfold. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's literally what we're doing. It's like, you get so caught on it if you can, or even if you should, because of what has been going on for so long that you don't even do. And it's just funny how, I don't know, I'm so glad we have some like friends here that will just push you that extra step that you've got to crutch just to be like, man, what do you think of this? Look at what I ran into today. And it's just, I don't know, it goes so far. It goes so far.
Yeah. But that's the key is just, you know what, sometimes you take a shot, see what happens. And
Right.
if you're lucky, it pays off.
Right.
Worst case scenario, you wasted a bullet and well, you take your next shot the next time it comes around.
Right. I think that there is a right time, a right place, and a right like idea, a right thing. I think those things really have to match up. I mean, Clint should know this. Like how many music people play music for 10 years. And then one year they're just like popular and they're like, what the hell, guys? We've been doing the same thing for 10 years. Why now are you guys coming to our show? And it's just,
Right.
I feel like, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's some people catch lightning in a bottle early on and some later, but if you don't put in the consistency and the work, don't
Right.
plan on the success.
Right. It's like playing shows everywhere for 10 years. You're still doing that same work every day at a different place to try and find that time, find that place, find that moment. But if you only do it once and get shut down, you're just going to, you just
You
let
look
that
at-
idea die.
Comedians that are big right now, most of them have been touring for years and years and years, and then they just finally build up that presence, and then it's rare that somebody just explodes,
Yeah.
like I guess like Eddie Murphy did, rather than like a Bill Burr or Louis C.K. or whatever who grinded for 20 years, or 15 years.
Well, and in fairness, I mean, Eddie Murphy did have Party All the Time, and that would make anyone famous.
I mean, the best song ever written. Yeah.
You can't throw something like that out there and not expect to just be an instant overnight sensation.
Yeah, true. The hardest part with that instant success is a lot of times it happens for some of the worst of reasons. You know what I mean? That's anything that's worth its time and worth its salt is it's going to be something that it's going to build with itself.
You mean like the kind of success you get from having a big ass or something?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
That's one of them.
You see it and it's gone, right?
Honestly, I think one of the worst things about instant success is that it's the type of success that I think as a society so readily identify with, and it's the one that we reward the most heavily sometimes, because like it's not as interesting to hear about somebody who became famous after 10 or 15 years of incredibly hard work, or a lot of toil and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It's a lot more interesting to hear about somebody who got discovered accidentally somewhere, or their YouTube channel just suddenly like caught on fire overnight and suddenly they have 10 million subscribers. I mean, especially nowadays. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we used to talk about the challenge not being like a hashtag fix, is because that was the type of thing that was going on. I mean, I think it was the ice bucket challenge was real big around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were always talking about, it's like, no, take a real challenge. Take a challenge that I mean, the ice bucket challenge was a positive thing, don't get me wrong, but it was very flash in the panty in a lot of ways. It's like it started and it was here and it was big for a couple of minutes and then it was gone.
It's
And
gone. Yeah.
the Karma Challenge is a real challenge. It's a challenge that is going to be around for a long time. That's going to take a long time. But at the end of it, hopefully you see that success.
Well, yeah, it's like you can raise awareness or you can get something done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and
that
that
was-
was, and
Nothing wrong with raising awareness, but like, I mean,
Well, but that was
we're
part of
aware
the,
of a lot of things.
that
Yeah.
was part of the problem with it, is because
What are we doing?
it
What
wasn't
are we
just
doing?
awareness. You were supposed to donate money every time you did it, and a lot of people didn't realize that because they thought, oh, well, just doing
I
it
didn't know
is
that.
enough. Yeah, it's like
Wasn't in the hashtag description.
well, exactly. When it first
In the
started,
fine print.
like you were supposed to either donate money or dump ice on yourself, and that part kind of got lost, I think, in the translation, especially towards the end. It's because a lot of people weren't donating; they were just doing the part that would get people to watch their channel.
Right.
yeah, and that was the part that I had a whole problem with, is I actually wanted to see the numbers. I was like, compared to how many people did the challenge and made the video and did all the stuff, I wanted to see how much money came in, because that's the real action. You know what I mean? You don't, because I'm all for making a spectacle of myself in the right circumstances. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with that. But if you want to make an impact, go make an impact. You know, go out and do it. You know, it's Ayame. You remember that one time when that lady, so Ayame and I were doing a little karma thing at the neighborhood garage sale thing. Remember? This was years ago.
Oh,
Sit at the
okay,
table in front of your house, have the TV playing like.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was there.
right, yeah.
But we had this lady come up, and that was her question. She's like, "Well, what's stopping me from taking $50 and going and buying food and giving it to people?" And I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
I don't know what's stopping you. And she had no response at all, because I wasn't questioning her intent. I was questioning why she didn't take the action. If you want to sit here and tell me that you're going to go do it, let's see it happen.
Right.
Because if
Awareness is just one side of a coin. Action's the other.
Starving people, you know. So it's really funny because the action is essential. Karma, at its foundation, it means action. It doesn't mean good action. It doesn't mean bad action. It just means action. Because whatever action you take, that's what's going to come back around. But if you don't act, which not acting is action, by the way, you can't forget that. But you choose
Inaction is action.
it's still going to affect something. And a lot of times that's stagnation. That just nothing changing. So why not choose to act one way or the other and see how it moves the needle, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, but in the end, you got to act. You got to do something.
Right.
Yeah, I remember
You
that.
never know when you can't act, you know?
Well, and just to throw this out there, depending on the source, the Ice Bucket Challenge is considered a successful campaign. It raised over $220 million worldwide. Depending, and again, it seems to vary between like 15 and 22. So, or I'm sorry, $220 million worldwide. So,
To be honest, Ayami, I completely forgot about the Ice Bucket Challenge until you just said it.
well, and see, that's really my point, is because I want to make this very clear. I'm not disparaging
right.
the people that did it. I'm not disparaging the act itself. What I'm saying is, like, it was a flash in the pan thing. It worked the way social media works, where it's like it's here for a minute, it's extraordinarily popular for a very brief amount of time, and then it's gone. And even though a lot of money was raised and donated, which is great, the message did get confused towards the end, which is the nature of messages that are, I feel like, not, constantly perpetuated. So there's that. But the other thing is, like, if you look at that versus what Karma has done, you look at how many people have been consistently involved in Karma over the years and how much of an impact those people have made. And you think, if those, 2 million plus people that did the Ice Bucket Challenge were dedicated to consistently working against that problem, or ending hunger or any other problem, think about how much would have been accomplished.
Right.
or would still be being accomplished. And that's the distinction that I want to make there.
Right. It's just because we didn't have the vehicle. The vehicle was this social media flash. And so we're almost like a vehicle against the grain, because it's not flashy, but it's so much more what's needed. If you ask me, it will sustain longer, or it's not going to be the next like thing or viral thing.
Here's the difference is, in all reality, charitable acts are always going to be a flash in the pan, because you can only give to charity when you have it, right?
Right.
That's what's unique about karma, is that we recognize the flash in the pan can do a lot really quickly, but to actually solve a problem, it takes effort every month. That's the difference more than anything, is that concentrated effort all the time to make it happen, because you see it every year with all of the people that come out at Christmas time for donations and charity, but people need things all year long. Hey, Ame, you said that challenge, how much money did it raise, did you say?
Between 150 and 220 million dollars worldwide, depending on the source.
Okay, so let's take it on that high end there, right? The $220 million. Do you know how quickly $220 million gets eaten up and vanishes in this world? And that just showed up once. It's there and then it's gone. What happens next? Do we have another flash in the pan to even compare it to for raising money for a problem? I don't think we've seen one since then.
Exactly.
No,
I mean, what's happened all the months and years since then?
Yeah.
And are they ever going to have another chance to go viral? Because usually it only happens once.
Bingo.
Like you can exploit being viral, but the harder you try at it, the less it works.
I think the problem with that is that what we're doing right now is we're dumping money into the problem and not the solution.
Well, some people are. I would say we're not doing that. But.
No, I'm just saying with like a charitable, like a one-time donation or whatnot, whatever this thing, it wasn't really solving the thing, but it was just putting money into it. Does that make sense? Where I feel like with this continuous cycle of karma, we're not just dumping money into feeding people. We're trying to continually solve a problem.
Well,
does that make?
Yeah. Well, here's the difference: is a donation, a charitable donation, is a one-time act, right? And what we do at Karma is we invest in the human element. It's an investment. Investments are made all the time. That's the thing about investing, is that it's something that you're going to do and work through, and not just think that you're going to get it back immediately. And that's the weird thing about the donation mentality, is you donate, you feel great, man, I gave this money, it makes me feel really good, but I gave it once. That's when it happened. And the difference that we really bring, and where it's so much more unique, is we're looking at it going, no, humanity is something that is worth doing great things for. So I'm going to make sure that I'm participating in keeping that thing going all the time. It's in all reality, Eric, you talked about earlier, karma is really just an engine. It's a thing that has potential to move economic resources around. All we need is people putting in economic fuel, which is money, right? If everybody puts in $50, this economic engine moves and everything goes. People get fed, people can earn an income. It's a cycle that can just keep going, but we need more people putting fuel into that machine.
Right.
That's the funny thing about charities, is where they're not an engine. They're just a bucket. It's literally just a bucket to catch droppings in. Hey, give us your money. It comes in, it's going to sit right here. When that bucket's empty, we're going to ask you to fill it again. It's not an engine.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Everything moving, right? Because an engine, like in a car, that's what it does. It's there to get the vehicle to go. The vehicle in karma's case is economics, right? It's a way of getting money and resources to move so that other people can jump in and travel with it. Right. And all we need is people putting in a little bit of fuel to keep that vehicle going. And that karmic engine, man, that's an engine that'll never quit, is what that one is.
It's funny you talk about engine and fuels. I have a YouTube video about that.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah, I'll share it.
Yeah,
We'll have to take
you
a
can
look at
plug it. You can plug it here at the end.
Yeah, we'll let you plug it.
Oh, let me pull it up then.
Oh, I was thinking we'll just mention
it's not-
it again.
No, I
It's
know, I
not
know,
gonna-
I know.
Yeah,
I can multitask.
because we're
Yeah,
not. People aren't going to be able to see it anyway until they,
Totally.
Yeah, but well, I mean, so we've got 2 minutes left. Does anybody have something really, really
I do.
catchy to end
do.
on?
Well,
It's not catchy, but I really want to take these 2 minutes.
Oh,
I gotta do a tribute. I'm sorry. I had a real close friend pass just barely, and he was also an agent of karma. And it really made me reflect of, you don't know how much time you have to act anymore. And I know every day he acted with karma in his hands. I know until the moment he even passed, he had his karma bracelet on him. And that really speaks to somebody. It really speaks to me, if not anybody, that karma is so pure and it's so mesmerizing and it's so full of love that my friend did it until the day he passed. And I'm sad he didn't get to see the whole thing unfold, but I'm really happy that he got to plant a seed. And I really think right now is the time to plant these seeds, because I think a wind is coming upon us. It's not now, but it's real soon. It really is. So like I said, you never know. You never know. So why not act now? Because that's all we have is now. And I'm quoting Rex for that. So.
absolutely right, my friend.
Right.
Absolutely,
Amen.
correct. Absolutely
Sorry
right.
to hear about that, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny was a good man.
He
he
was.
absolutely was.
The world is a little bit dimmer for his passing, but like you said, he knew what was going on and he understood. He
Right.
got the idea wholeheartedly, and that's where we're really lucky. I know that we've talked about with his brothers a little bit, and we have some ideas on how we can keep Danny in memory
Totally.
and stuff like that. So yeah, it's incredible, because even afterwards, like you said, he planted a seed, and because he planted a seed, we can still see the world change for the better because of it.
Right.
And
And
that's
it's almost like his energy is still with that because he planted those seeds and he's brought those people to karma. Without Danny, they wouldn't be in karma. I mean, they could maybe 50
Right.
years down the road or 20 years down the road, but they're not because of it. One agent makes a big difference. I guess that's what the note I want to end on.
Yeah,
absolutely, and it's a hell of a note. It's a hell of
Hell
a
yeah.
it is a good note to end on. Well, do you
Well-
want to do the outro, or do you
Well,
want to take it?
what I'm going to say is, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Eric, you've been an incredible person to have on with us tonight, my friend. I can't wait to do it again in the future, because we're definitely going to have you on some more. For everybody watching from home, Mom, Carrie, Colby, Alyssa, anybody else that's out there, we love having you guys with us. Thanks for keeping the conversation lively for us. Ayame, kick us out with all the ats and wits and all that stuff, if you don't mind, though.
Okay, so obviously you can follow us at karmaincarnate.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on all that stuff. You can follow us at the Karmic Feed on Twitter. You can follow me at AyameXGoddess on Twitter. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Eric's business is I Am Karma, if I'm not mistaken.
You're
check,
right.
So you can check him out at iamkarma.karmaincarnate.com. Clint, what was yours?
Huh? I'm just doing your
Okay, well,
lip syncing for you because we can't
so
see it.
send it to me for next week. So you can follow him there. Mine is Chasing Karma at karmaincarnate.com, or you can follow Scheming Good Karma. And I think that's everything.
I think so. We'll get a list for next
See
time.
you, Eric.
Check it off.
It's good to
See
see
you
you,
guys.
man.
Thank you
Love
so
you
much.
guys.
And then I'll
to see
post that
you.
video as well, just for fun.
Oh yes, be sure to check out the annotations or the links in the box underneath in Facebook, because we will post a link to Eric's video there for you. So
We will.
Cool. Love you guys.
Okay, guys.
Love you.
What the hell
good
out
night,
of you.
everybody.
Have a great
Yeah.
night.